Coach Jason Capson here. Coach Jason Capson here, and let's start with Chris Bumstead. So a few photos came out on Chris's Instagram, and these are great photos. This is truly what it's all about. What a great thing that Chris is able to do, to be able to walk away from the sport that he loves, that he dominated, being one of the most popular bodybuilders on the entire planet, and now being able to ride off into the sunset with his beautiful daughter and wife. The caption, it talked about, they call their daughter Goo. I don't know if that has to do with Gaga Goo Goo. Not sure what the thing is there. I'm sure Chris can explain that. But calls his daughter Goo, and this is Goo's half birthday, and these pictures are absolutely adorable with Chris and his daughter. Now, obviously, everybody wishes Chris the absolute best into the future. However, if we're being really honest, because we are selfish by nature and we want to see him back on the stage. I know I do. I think Chris was a dominant force and really set the tone, set the standard for not only classic physique, but bodybuilding in general, with his calm demeanor, with his attitude, with his work ethic, everything, with just being open and honest about everything when it comes to the sport of bodybuilding. The mental strength that it takes, the toll that it takes on you as a person, on your mentality, on your family, and for him to be able to step away. There's not a lot of professional athletes who are at the very, very top of the mountain, at the top of their game, in the prime of, he's only 29 years old. Let's remember that. He's in his prime. He could dominate for many, many, many more years. But he's at the top, and he's a 6-time Mr. Olympia champion, and he's walking away. And again, what a great thing to be able to do. That is truly a champion, leaving the sport that he loves, leaving the sport that he dominates, leaving the sport where he gets all the fan adoration, gets all the attention, leaving it to spend more time with his little baby girl and his wife. I think that is commendable, and I think a lot of other athletes should look at that, not just in the world of bodybuilding, in sports in general. I think other athletes can learn from Chris Bumstead. So congratulations again to Chris Bumstead, and we wish, obviously, nothing but the best for him. The next story up is GoodVito posted some pictures and a video on his Instagram, and GoodVito's looking monstrous. He's almost 300 pounds. And I've mentioned before in other posts, size over everything and muscle mass over everything is, I think, a thing of the past. And really, I think there's some issues here with GoodVito. I think he is actually hurting his physique by pushing it over 3. He's not a very tall guy. He's a pretty short athlete, and to be carrying around 300 pounds and his stomach is distended, he is huge. He's just gigantic. Now, we will see how he looks when he cuts that down a little bit, when he gets ready for his next show. We'll see what he brings to the stage, but man, he is looking enormous. And I do think, again, we look at the new Mr. Olympia. You look at Samson Dauda, and Samson is a gigantic man, but he's also 6'1", 6'2", and carries that 300 pounds very, very differently than GoodVito does. And GoodVito, again, size over symmetry, size over everything, size over balance. I think it's just too much. I don't like the look myself personally. You tell me what you think in the comments below. But I think he's just putting on too much size and giving up, his balance and his symmetry in order to do that. I don't think that is the look that the judges are looking for these days. Clearly at the Mr. Olympia, that is not the case. We see that in a lot of athletes. We see that they are looking for symmetry. They are looking for, yes, you need size in open bodybuilding, but at what cost and how much size? And I think GoodVito is definitely pushing the envelope when it comes to size. Now, real quick, the next little clip here, there was also an announcement about the Prague Pro, where Martin the Martian Fitzwater will be competing in November of this year. Well, in a few weeks, actually. And Martin Fitzwater just got off of the stage at the Olympia in by far the best shape of his life. The judges really liked what they saw clearly. He was solidly in fourth place, and I think an argument could almost be said or almost be made between him and former Mr. Olympia, Derek Lunsford. I think Martin really etched his place in the world bodybuilding lineup, and I don't think anyone's going to touch him in Prague. I mean, we'll see. But based on the way he looked at his last outing at the Mr. Olympia, I would be shocked. I mean, unless Samson shows up, or Hadi, or even Derek, I think Martin's a slam dunk for a win in Prague. We will see. The latest updates are showing, he's there with his coach in just a quick ab shot and some other little pictures, from his Instagram post. He's looking really good. He's looking tight. He's looking right on point to be able to show up in Prague in the best shape of his, in great shape. I don't know if it'll be the best shape of his life. I don't know if it has to be the best shape of his life, to be honest. I think the best shape of his life was at the Olympia, and I think he will get an early qualification for the Olympia. Not that he needs it. I don't think he even needs it. I think he already qualifies for the Olympia, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's the top three. I'll check into that. But I think he does need to qualify, and he will be qualified at the Prague Pro easily, in my opinion. So next up, we've got the battle of the Brazilians at the Romania Pro. The Romania Pro is coming up in November as well. And you've got a couple of really, really interesting athletes that are showing up for this, that are really going to make some noise. Now, I've talked about Brandao, and I think that Brandao, when you look at his photos from the Olympia, I think he may have missed his peak a little bit. I think that he looked great, and I think he put on an incredible amount of size in a very short period of time. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what he brings to the to the Romania stage. Again, I think he's going there to get an early qualification. I think that he's going to look incredibly good on stage. I think Rafa will be pushed by Horse MD. This is going to be a very interesting battle. I'm a big fan of Horse MD's physique. I think from the front, Rafa might have an edge just in size. I think overall he might have an edge in size. But when Horse MD turns to the side, my goodness, he looks amazing. His quads, his hamstrings, his chest, he looks incredible in this side chest pose. And I think if Horse MD shows up in that kind of shape with that kind of size and maybe even a little bit tighter, he's going to give Rafa Brandao a run for his money. Now, again, if you look at this picture from the Olympia from Rafa, this is the prejudge, or just before he got on stage for the prejudging. He looked really, really good. And obviously on stage, he really did look incredible at the Olympia. This is another picture of him from a recent guest posing. Nobody can argue the fact that he brought his legs up. His legs were his weak point, and he definitely brought those up for the Olympia. They still look great at this guest posing, and I think he's really going to bring it to the Romania Pro. But I do think that battle, the ultimate battle, the Romania Pro, I think he's actually going to get pushed to the limit by Horse MD. I'm a big fan of Horse MD's physique. I think he brings a perfect combination of size and symmetry and balance. I think he has it all from top to bottom. He can use a little work on his lats, maybe, but really, that's just really getting nitpicky. I think for the Romania Pro, I think a battle between him and Rafael is going to be something to see. I'm really excited about that show. The Prague Pro. You've got Martin going to that. I think he's going to win that easily, depending on who else shows up. But I think he's going to win that quite easily. But at the Romania show, I think there's going to be a really good battle between two Brazilians, Horse MD and Rafael Brandao. I think it's going to be an amazing show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who wins that, who takes home the prize, and who gets the Olympia qualification early in the season. So that's it. That's all for today, folks. I hope you're having a great week, and all the best to you. Coach Jason Capson signing out.